Smart contracts are the fundamental building blocks of the Ethereum blockchain. Simply, a smart contract is a computer program stored on the blockchain. Smart contracts are, like any contract, an agreement or promise made between two or more parties. Nick SZABO first coined the term smart contract in 1994. If that name rings a bell, you might remember Nick SZABO, computer scientist, lawyer, and former employee of DigiCash. SZABO also conceptualized BitGold, one of the early attempts at creating a decentralized digital currency. In 1996, SZABO described a smart contract as a set of promises specified in digital form, including protocols within which the parties perform on these promises. Simply put, a smart contract is a contract in digital form between two parties. A smart contract will only execute if both parties agree to the terms and conditions. Any legal contract, a marriage contract, a commercial contract, a property deed, can be a smart contract. Smart contracts inspired Vitalik to create Ethereum. According to Ethereum's website, Nick SZABO envisioned a digital marketplace built on these automatic, cryptographically secure processes, a place where transactions and business functions can happen trustlessly, without intermediaries. Smart contracts on Ethereum put this vision into practice. You might be thinking, I'm not a lawyer, I don't make legal agreements, why should I care about smart contracts? Well, a contract is simply an agreement. We enter into agreements every single day when we exchange value for something in return. A simple example would be paying $4.50 in exchange for a coffee at your local cafe. More formal examples include an employment contract or a student loan contract. The problem with these kinds of agreements is the trust required for individuals to follow through on the spoken or written terms and conditions. Let's say you buy a piece of jewellery online. You enter an agreement with the merchant that your new piece of jewellery will be delivered in 3 to 5 business days as stated at checkout on the website. Problem is, the company doesn't exist. It's a scam. When you pay for the piece of jewellery, you aren't paying a business, you're paying a criminal who has lured you to the website with the intention of stealing your money and giving you nothing in return. This happens all the time, and it's not uncommon that scammers get away with it, at least for a time. So what difference would a smart contract make? When you order your piece of jewellery, your money would be held in a smart contract. The smart contract is programmed so that the merchant receives your payment if and only if you receive your new piece of jewellery. The smart contract knows you received the package when the postal service validates that delivery to your house. In programming speak, that's called a if this then that scenario, whereby if you agree to this, then that must happen. Nick SZABO uses the example of a vending machine to help us understand the purpose and functionality of a smart contract. First, you select a product. The vending machine specifies how much your product is. You insert your cash and the vending machine verifies it's the right amount. The vending machine is programmed to dispense your product and change. The smart contract stands between you and the product behind the window of the vending machine. If you meet the conditions of the smart contract by inserting enough cash, the vending machine will execute the agreement and provide your product. You can only begin to imagine what else you can do with smart contracts. According to Ethereum, smart contracts combined with blockchain technology can perform computations, create currency, store data, mint NFTs, send communications, and even generate graphics. In fact, anyone can generate a smart contract, and that's the beauty of building on Ethereum. Ethereum provides the infrastructure, and you can build the application using smart contract protocols. My personal favourite use case is using smart contracts for the purpose of buying a house. You may remember the example we used in an earlier lesson when explaining blockchain technology. Entering into a mortgage agreement is a big deal, not least because it's one big risk for one big sum of money. Then there are all the extra costs of buying a house, like various forms of tax, lawyers, brokers, real estate agents, and insurers. If you've ever explored the process of buying a property, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. To reiterate Rick Elderman's quote, trust, or lack thereof, is the reason buying a house is so cumbersome. After you sign the sales agreement, you hire a settlement attorney to conduct a title search to verify that the seller really does own the deed and has the legal right to sell it to you. Then you buy the title insurance in case the title search was flawed. Meanwhile, you apply for a mortgage and the lender verifies that you really do have the income and assets you claim to have. All of this adds months and tens and thousands of dollars to the transaction, none of which increase the value of the house. You're spending money on verification because we operate in a trust economy. Blockchains eliminate all of that. It replaces the trust economy with an authentication economy. Specifically, smart contracts can eliminate the time, money, and headaches of buying a new property, saving you tens and thousands of dollars. Smart contracts can help with identity verification, property ownership transfer, even hassle-free lease agreements. All that needs to be programmed in the smart contract are the basic terms and conditions so that if you provide the right deposit amount or the criteria for a suitable tenant, the smart contract will execute without fuss. There's absolutely no middleman or intermediary that stands between the buyer and the seller or the landlord and the tenant. Pretty wild stuff. Thanks to the secure and decentralized nature of blockchain technology, we can trust smart contracts to do what they are programmed to do. And if you think about it, smart contracts might as well eliminate the need for anyone to process paperwork. And that's hundreds of millions of people around the world replaced by smart contracts. Of course, you still need people to create the conditions of the smart contract, but once that's done, paperwork is basically rendered useless. So there you have it. Smart contracts are extraordinarily useful and form an important part of Ethereum's blockchain infrastructure. It's what makes Ethereum so valuable and so useful. It is, after all, the most active blockchain in the world.